Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news tonight, Las Vegas police are investigating a shooting on the Vegas Strip that left one person dead and another wounded. The suspect is still on a bus as police try to bring him into custody. This morning on Las Vegas Boulevard outside of the Cosmopolitan Hotel, police say a suspect barricaded himself on a bus, shutting down traffic in both directions. None of the shots fired hit any of the surrounding hotels and casinos, but they certainly did not go unnoticed, stunning many of the tourists who flocked to the popular destination.
The employees were evacuated on the side of the building. I didn't hear anything, but definitely want to get out of there.
Right now, there is no word on the second victim's condition or the motive of this shooter. And just hours earlier, a robbery near where this shooter opened fire. Police are still searching for suspects in a brazen robbery of a jewelry store inside of a casino. ABC's Maggie Rulli.
Inside the Bellagio Hotel. Guests on lockdown. Casino tables left empty. Others scrambling to flee the building, seeking safety outside.
As of 4:15 at the Bellagio, advising families of two possible active shooter in a zebra mask.
Police say thieves entered the Bellagio shopping mall after midnight, busted through the windows of a jewelry store, and smashed display cases.
They used sledgehammers.
Witnesses tell ABC News that at least one of the suspects was wearing a pig mask.
There was a group of people, and they were all looking towards the Rolex store, and I noticed a person in a pig mask, and he looked like he was holding something long and black in one hand, and then noticed that he was holding what looked like a gun in the other hand.
The thieves took off with the loot to their getaway car.
That vehicle failed to start for them. They tried to carjack some other people. That didn't go so well. They were unable to carjack those people.
At least one suspect is in custody. Police continue to search for those responsible.
We don't have all of the suspects in custody.
But
we
you're
have
confident?
people. We're confident that we have a good trail to lead us to the suspects.
Despite early reports, no shots were fired and no one was hurt. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
And back here at home, hundreds gathering for protest training. Protests have become predominant here on the Sun Coast and around the country. And the American Civil Liberties Union held a workshop here in town instructing locals on how to get their point across without attracting the wrong kind of attention. ABC 7's Erica Jackson visited that training and joins us live from where it was held at the Unitarian Universalist Church on Fruitville Road. Erica?
Adam, the Suncoast has seen more than a dozen of these protests over the last year and police presence at several of them. And now the national organization hopes to teach these demonstrators how to get their point across without attracting the wrong type of attention and ending up in handcuffs. And this training was part of the ACLU, the Sarasota chapter's annual meeting. More than 100 people coming out to learn how to get their point across to local legislators at town hall meetings and through protests. The vice president of the ACLU Florida tells us all of the demonstrations locally have been peaceful without any arrests, but he wants to see residents make their voices heard and see change.
It's a way for people to express that they are upset about the direction of their government, and government officials should listen to those protests.
The organization has trained legal observers to go out and make sure that these protests are going well, and they've been to at least half a dozen since the start of 2017. And coming up at 11, we'll talk to some of those local protesters and demonstrators and talk to them about how they plan to make their voices heard at upcoming rallies. Reporting live from Sarasota, I'm Erica Jackson. Adam, back to you.
Thank you, Erica, and we look forward to that report. Elsewhere on the Sun Coast, a way to bring awareness to the importance of bees. The Honeybee Festival, celebrating its second year, teaching event goers what they can do to help save this important insect. A co-owner of the Sarasota Honey Company says the event is especially important this year since the company has seen a decrease in bees that they believe is due to spraying for the Zika virus.
We definitely see it going on. We love the support of the community. We hope to try to make Sarasota a bee-friendly city, and we're going through the process of doing that. So yes, we want to continue this and increase honeybee awareness. People here are very green, which we love, and they've really embraced our honeybees and this event in itself, which is fabulous.
Johnson says ways that you can help is by avoiding herbicides, planting flowers from smaller nurseries, putting a bird bath in your yard, and even taking up amateur beekeeping. The Sarasota Honey Company will help train anyone interested in installing a beehive in their backyard. A beautiful spring day here on the Suncoast, but I don't know if I'm quite ready to install a beehive in my backyard. Wendy, I don't know. What are you thinking?
No,
on that
I'm
front?
not going to do it either. I'm going to stay away from that. We had bees once in a tree, and we had to get rid of them because the lawn men said that the vibration from the lawn mowers wasn't allowing him to get the yard done. How about that? So there you go. There's always something. We are looking at some rain. Sadly, it's not here. We could use the showers, but you can see this band of rain right here is starting to affect the panhandle of Florida. And in advance of that, we've been getting some cloud cover, and you'll notice the winds have been coming in from the west throughout the day. And so we've been getting those westerly winds that have allowed us to see a few more clouds around. It wasn't a really stark clear day today for us, but our temperatures certainly were on the warm side, so I don't think anybody's complaining. 78 degrees right now at the airport, but as you can see, we're looking at temperatures that are in the low 70s at the water. As soon as you get on land, though, those temperatures jump up, and we're looking at 70s and 80s. And we'll let you know what we can expect for tonight and into tomorrow, and if this beautiful weather is going to continue, we'll let you know. Adam?
All right, thank you very much, Wendy. A collision between a car and a motorcycle ending fatally for one Bradenton man this morning on US 41. The Florida Highway Patrol responding to the section of road just south of Braden Avenue at 8:45 this morning. Troopers say an SUV was attempting to turn out of a McDonald's, but failed to see a motorcycle approaching in the southbound lanes. The two collided, and the motorcyclist Chad Stevens was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the SUV was not injured in the crash, but has been charged for violation of right-of-way. The controversial announcement by a state attorney on Florida's death penalty case attracting even more attention after the president of the Florida NAACP announced at their state conference disapproval of Governor Rick Scott's decision to take the Markeith Lloyd case away from state attorney Aramis Ayala. Lloyd is charged with first-degree murder in the killings of his ex-girlfriend and an Orlando police lieutenant. Scott gave Lloyd's case to another prosecutor after Ayala said she would no longer seek the death penalty. Ayala says Scott overstepped his authority. Now the NAACP is asking him to return that case. A special runway debut on the Suncoast today. The National Pediatric Cancer Foundation, in partnership with Dillard's and University Town Center, chose models to take part in a celebration of strength. Girls and boys battling cancer, helping to showcase their inner and outer beauty and strutting their stuff at the Fashion Funds the Cure event.
It was awesome. It's a completely different picture of where we were a year ago today in the hospital, inpatient, not doing any of this stuff, certainly. We've come a long way in the last year, so it's so exciting to be part of something like this for her, for us, for our whole family. So it's been such a special experience for all of us.
ABC7's own Haley Wilgus emceed that event, announcing those models out there on the runway. But that wasn't the end of the show. Each model receiving a special surprise from members of the armed forces who recorded a unique message of strength for each child battling cancer. A new way to experience Florida history. The 5 Centuries of Florida History weekend is underway at DeSoto National Memorial with reenactments, unique weapons demonstrations, and junior ranger activities for kids. Event officials say it's a great way to teach newcomers and Florida natives about the state's real history while introducing the public to their national parks.
Well, to me, as a park ranger and loving this history as well as loving our national parks, it makes me feel really great that folks are coming out, they're enjoying their national parks, as well as they're learning a little bit of history about the great state we live in.
And if you missed that event today, the historical experience will continue tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Still to come here on ABC7, a search through debris for answers following a fatal plane crash in Georgia that hit one family's home. Plus, what happens next for health care now how the Trump administration plans to move forward from yesterday's failure to repeal Obamacare.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less. Featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under-bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You've got to see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos. To use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Monday at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
The surprising finding related to fruit juice and kids. Details in HealthSmart.
Monday at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
And now to the big question across the country just one day after the failure of a health care reform. ABC's David Wright brings us what's next. What is the next step for the Trump administration?
Before heading out to his golf club in Virginia, President Trump was still ruminating about Friday's health care debacle, tweeting, "Obamacare will explode, and we will all get together and piece together a great health care plan for the people. Do not worry." Plenty of voters are worried.
The plan they had kicked 24 million people off of health insurance.
The whole point is to hear both sides and come together. And that's where I'm most frustrated with our government, because I don't think they're doing that thing.
Today, Vice President Pence was in Charleston, West Virginia, reassuring small business owners.
We will end the Obamacare nightmare and give the American people the world-class health care that they deserve.
The GOP effort to repeal and replace Obamacare is now in tatters, because House Republicans could not marshal enough votes to pass their plan.
Obamacare is the law of the land. It's going to remain the law of the land until it's replaced.
Some lawmakers now say just walking away from the problem would not be responsible either.
Doing nothing is not the answer after this setback.
But there's no quick fix agreeable to all sides.
Repeal and replace, it's a nice buzzword, it's a nice slogan, but doesn't describe what we need to do moving forward.
Republicans in Congress haven't yet said what their next move is likely to be. The administration says it's moving on to tax reform. David Wright, ABC News, Washington.
Florida Business Group is helping veterans start their own businesses. The group's Veterans Florida started this year after receiving $1 million in funding from the state. It offers veterans who are out to start their own business 7 bi-weekly meetings followed by continuing mentorship. This comes after the Small Business Administration data shows veterans' share of new businesses has been decreasing in recent years. It was more than a third of all new businesses in 2007, but only a fifth of those new businesses in 2013. Veteran Florida hopes to fill the gap with mentorships and other programs. A fatal plane crash happening in Georgia. A small plane crashing into a home on Friday night, killing the pilot. Fire officials in Cobb County say no one else was on that plane and no one on the ground was injured. The aircraft was en route to Fulton County Airport when it crashed around 7:30 yesterday evening.
I looked back up and I saw the plane just spiraling out of control, and then it started taking a nosedive and spiraling down.
Now this morning, FAA investigators are digging through that debris, trying to determine the cause of this crash. The couple who lives at the home weren't there at the time of the incident. They were at church and say they are grateful that they were. And the FAA releasing a call to tower control just moments after a near run-in between Star Wars actor Harrison Ford's plane and a 737 airliner. The actor sounding stunned in the moments after his single-engine plane nearly collided. Look at that. With a passenger jet at John Wayne Airport. The FAA releasing the audio of the pilot of that Boeing 737 as well.
The airliner is meant to be underneath me. The tail of my airplane is 42 feet tall. You get an idea of how close it was.
And less than 100 feet between Ford and the 110 passengers aboard that Airbus after landing. Ford immediately calling the tower and sheepishly admitting that he was distracted by that plane and the turbulence from another jet landing nearby.
Yeah, hi, it's Husky 89er Hotel uniform and the schmuck that landed on the taxi there.
So maybe Harrison Ford might have had a little better luck in the Millennium Falcon, or is that a little too nerdy of a reference for you there?
Well, it is for me. It is for me. I just have to tell you that we've had a lot of incidents with small aircraft, haven't we?
We've had
a lot of them over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's all about communication. You got to have communication. But yeah, we had a plane go down here in Manatee County. That was very scary. Yeah. Obviously, the crash in Georgia and Harrison Ford not helping there at the runways.
I love to fly. I love to fly, and I love being up in a small plane. But you have to have tremendous confidence with all the players involved and to make sure that all the safety checks are done.
Absolutely.
And you do have to pay attention to long tails up in the air when you're flying.
And you also need good weather.
Good weather is such a good thing. We had good weather today. It just wasn't pretty. You know, normally we get those crystal clear days, and today was not one of them. You can see we had cloud cover all day long. Nothing that produced any rain, but we've seen the clouds. They've been coming on in, and actually it's been the latter part of the day where it's looked the best with fewer clouds out there. And so today was nice and warm for this time of the year. We're normally run around 77 degrees for the daytime high, and today we got up to 82. 60 was the overnight low. So you can see 58 degrees is where we normally are for overnights and 77 for daytime highs. So we're a little bit off that mark, but I don't think there's anyone complaining about it. As you can see over the northern part of the state, we've been looking at temperatures that are in the upper 70s, and then as we come down into central Florida, just about everywhere and even over the southern part of the state, reporting temperatures in the 80s. And most of these temperatures are pretty uniform around the area. So we've had a couple of places in the 70s, Wauchula and Sebring. Interestingly, they had a little bit more cloud cover over Sebring earlier today. That helped to bring their temperature down. Otherwise, we've been looking at temperatures in the low 80s all across the board. And we've got a mixture of some moisture and some additional dry weather that's moving on in. So even though we've got a rougher system that is now affecting the Mississippi Valley, we are seeing a lot of moisture coming on in with that system, but it's lifting off towards the north. And what we are getting in behind it and to the south of it is all this dry weather that's moving in our direction. So our chances for rain are not very good. Now, along the east coast, they've been getting the easterly winds. and then we've had some showers out here, and so these showers have been moving onshore, and they are getting some rain down in the Miami area, but we are in a drought situation. We really are looking at a deficit, and we would love to see some rain coming on here across the west coast of Florida, and that's not going to happen, not for another couple of days. So if you're down here visiting, that's great news for you. If you live here, we would love to see this rain, but we're not going to be seeing it. And you can see that these showers are going to continue to skirt on off towards the north, so we're not going to be getting those rains, which would have been very beneficial. They're not going to be moving in our direction, but we will continue to see some cloud cover around. We're just not going to get the rains to come along with it. So here's our system. We've got some rough weather that we're expecting over the Mississippi Valley. That all lifts on up towards the north. High pressure is in play for us, and what that means is some pretty nice weather for the rest of the weekend. So that's a bit of good news. Here's what we can expect. We've got temperatures either side of 80 degrees for the next couple of days. Our next best chance for rain won't be until next Friday. And then it's only a 20% chance. Adam?
Now, sports.
Unless you've been living under a rock, you should know who this guy is by now. Florida guard Chris Chiozza made just 2 baskets in 30 minutes on the floor last night against Wisconsin, but it only took him 4 seconds to make the biggest shot of the Gator season. There it is, a buzzer beater to win against Wisconsin. It sends Florida to the Elite Eight, and it sends Chris Chiozza into the annals of history over at UF. After the game, Chiozza admitting he's tried this shot in practice a few times, but rarely does it go in.
If somebody was open, I was going to pass it, but I was really trying to get to the rim. But they did a good job of bumping me and slowing me down, and that was the only shot that I had, and I had to take that one.
The Gators will be advancing to the Elite Eight for the first time since 2014, where they will meet their SEC rival South Carolina. Florida won the last meeting between those two teams in February, but the Gamecocks have been red hot since, winning 5 of their last 7 games. USA men's soccer back on the pitch in a World Cup qualifying game against Honduras. The U.S. with their backs against the wall after 2 losses to start qualifying play, but less than 5 minutes into this one, Sebastian Lletget puts the U.S. on the board 1-0, and the U.S. just could do no wrong since then. Michael Bradley blasting the left footer past the goalie, and later on it was this guy coming up here, Clint Dempsey, the captain, knocking in his 3rd goal of the game to make it a 6-0 victory for the U.S. Dempsey, however, trying to keep the focus about the team after the game.
I felt good. It was good to go 90 minutes. It was good to get the goals, to get the confidence going, and it's about us keep pushing and try to get points in Panama.
It was very evident from
the U.S. is now tied with 2 other countries in their qualifying region with a 1-2 overall record. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular received a J.D. Power Award for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-297-5313. Go to consumercellular.com or visit a Target or Sears store today.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
When I turned 18, something big happened on my birthday. Every comfort that I knew, gone. This is what it feels like to age out of the foster care system in America. And this is the feeling that nearly 30,000 young people experience every year. But it can be better. You and me, working together for success beyond 18. Improve the lives of young people aging out of foster care. Learn more at jimcaseyouth.org.
Why do I run? I think life's a journey. Every step brings me closer to my goal. I run to see the world, and when you're surrounded by so much beauty, how could it not take your breath away?
Join us at Robinson Preserve Friday, March 31st at 6:30 p.m. for our 9th annual Twilight 5K and 10K race. At one of the most beautiful scenic race courses in Florida. This race will leave you breathless.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
A former editor-in-chief of Paris Vogue, Joan Juliette Buck, was on the Suncoast today sharing her life experiences and what she's learned along the way. With a newly released memoir named The Price of Illusion, Buck recounts her quest to discovering the difference between glitter and gold and the importance of being true to who you are.
Do your best to do what you want to do, not what other people think you should do. I spent a lot of my life living my life to please my father. You waste a lot of time that way and a lot of energy. And the sooner you can figure out what it is that really floats your boat, the happier you'll be.
Buck says when she first finished that memoir, it was over 1,000 pages long, a bit shocking for her editor. They did since whittle it down a bit, and that book is currently available in stores and online.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
With a top prize of $10 million, the new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery is your ticket to take on the world. The new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery. One of our life-changing scratch-offs offering billions in cash prizes.